Hello folks, we are back in the dense Appalachian forests of the new River Gorge National Park. This is sort of a part two. This is my second day here in the national park. The first day we explored much of the southern part of the national park. Today we are exploring a lot of the northern part of the park, the major attractions we haven't really gotten to see yesterday. And this part of the park holds a lot more iconic attractions. If you've researched New River Gorge, you would know that these are sort of the attractions people flock to visit. So we'll try to explore a lot of the northern part of the park. That of course means that if it's your first time watching us on the Coverage Project visit New River Gorge National Park, it means you're missing out on the first part. And believe me, we explore some exciting places and find some brilliantly beautiful natural sights. First thing on the agenda today is that we're on this trail called the Endless Wall Trail. It'll be an exciting thing to walk around and visit. When I talked to the people running the visitor center, they said this is the must-do thing. They told me that if I was to explore this northern part of the park, this should be the first thing we visit. So I'm excited. Here in these secluded mountains, it is a very, very sunny day in the middle of September. It was a very hot and humid morning, which is good because I forgot to put on sunscreen. So being here in this forest where all the leaves cover the sunlight, we are a-okay. I gave you all a bit of a background on the history and why this national park is significant in the first video. And so I'm not gonna repeat myself. So watch the first video if you want a little bit of a background on New River Gorge National Park. How fast the time goes by. It's already September, but I guess the season doesn't really matter. It's still just as hot as the summer. Maybe that's just what the climate is like here in the southern part of West Virginia. I'm no meteorologist. I don't know how these different things impact the climate. I'm already out of breath and winded. And this is the easy trail. Now I'm following the directions that lead us to the overlook. I'm not sure if this is the overlook because I'm sort of veering off the path. And, well, it looks like an overlook. Oh my goodness. At this height, it's a bit scary. You know, you don't want to take a misstep and fall down and perish. But let's take a few steps forward and see the beautiful views. I want to take these good shots, but that is quite a ledge. But you can really see all the trees. Nothing's being developed, you just see this beautiful nature. Yeah, let's get out of the danger zone and keep on the path. I think this is not the grand view. Not talking about grand view from the first video, but this is not the grand view that we're trying to locate. Okay, here's another danger zone. And my, that's a steep drop. That would be brutal if we accidentally fell down there. Yeah, the last thing I want you all to do is come to this New River Gorge National Park and get hurt and say, well, no, the Coverage Project told me that I should be going here. And then, you know, I get guilt on my hands. So we are creating this environment of safety. Safety first. All right, I think we found it. This is the overlook here at, what is this, the Endless Walls Trail? Keep forgetting these trail names. What's important is that these are the beautiful mountains of the Appalachians that you can see at New River Gorge National Park. And I think that is the new river. My goodness, this is majestic. And the best thing is we have it all to ourselves. Yep, that's right. No tourists with their bulky camera set up, taking 15 minutes to get a perfect shot. No families with bratty kids going too close to the cliff and their mothers dragging them back saying, hey, don't get too close, come back here. You know, all of that ruins the vibe. And I get it, I was once one of those bratty kids, but it's nice. We have a peaceful environment all to ourselves and there's just this mighty pleasant view. Now if you can see it behind these pine needle trees, Oh, what a view of this rocky cliff. These are the true sights of the Appalachian Mountains. As I mentioned in the first video, this river gorge did not used to look like this. Millions of years ago, the river was probably much higher, and the erosion from the waters flowing down ultimately created this wonderful gorge. I think I'm gonna stay here for a while. It's so peaceful, such a tranquil sight. I'll see you at the next, not the location, but the next destination we go here in today's adventure. Just gotta relax for a bit. This is wonderful. Alright, we are now on the Long Point Trail. I really hope the name doesn't imply it's a long hike. I am exhausted at this point, but I feel like I owe it to you all to go on this trail and show you what lies at the end. I'll keep that a secret, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll talk about it a bit before I show you all. But where we're walking right now, although it is forested, it used to be covered by large expanses of these thick trees. Oak and poplar, these massive trees in this forest. But as people came to this region, they pretty much cleared the forest, and what was left were just fields and pastures and meadows. So people have a huge, profound impact on the surrounding nature. But now, since the new river is protected from the long history of the mountain folk deforesting this area, there's now a new ecosystem erupting as plants and trees fight for, oh, I almost tripped there, look at that. But as plants and flowers and all this other vegetation competes for the sunlight and the moisture and all the nutrients in nature. So the forest is slowly coming back to life, although it might not ever be the same as it once was. Okay, I guess it's time to reveal what is so special about this Long Point Trail. What makes it a pristine trail for a good majority of people to favor this trail over others? Well, this trail leads to an iconic landmark of West Virginia. We're going to be headed towards the New River Gorge Bridge. Oh my gosh, check this out. This is a snake. I don't know if it's alive or it's a carcass. It looks alive, and it's looking just as black as you would see in a tire. You can neither tell whether a snake is poisonous or not, so I'm gonna leave it alone, let it be. But the classic Appalachian snake stays still to catch its prey. And the prey's probably me if I'm provoking it, so let's go away. At a little over 3,000 feet long, the New River Gorge Bridge is the fifth longest single-span arched bridge in the world, and it's the largest in the Western Hemisphere. And although it's gonna look very, very old, it wasn't built in the olden times. It was actually built fairly recently in the country's history. Back in the 70s, it was West Virginia's most ambitious project of engineering, and for the significance of its engineering and the impact it had on transportation in this region of West Virginia, it was declared one of those national historic places on that National Registry of Historic Places. Alright, this is it. This is the New River Gorge Bridge. If you've seen, even just like do a Google search of West Virginia, you might come across this image, because that is like the state landmark of West Virginia. Like, that is West Virginia in an image, right? It's also remarkable just to note how high in elevation we are. We are witnessing all of these mountains, and the gorge right there with the new river that we've seen all day. It's such a spectacular sight. Believe me, I'm enthralled to be here. It's such an iconic landmark of West Virginia that it is on the state commemorative quarter. You know, those quarters where on the front it's George Washington, and then on the back it's some state, one of the 50, or I know in the last 10 years they've been doing national parks and recreation sites. So if you look and you're lucky enough to find a West Virginia quarter, look on the reverse side of it. You might just see the new River Gorge Bridge. There's actually sort of a tradition where people will go and do some daredevil stunts. I think there's a day where, given the right equipment people have, you are allowed to jump off, bungee jumping or what have you. But that's the new River Gorge Bridge for you. Yeah, I don't think you can top a view like that. There's just no way. I think this is the ultimate view of the new River Gorge National Park. We've reached the zenith of our travel today, so yeah. How's about that for day 2 of the new River Gorge National Park? There's no better place to end the video, honestly. At this point, I can only really say that for West Virginia as a state, as we travel through this glorious, underrated state in the Appalachian Mountains, I think we had a good time here. Sadly though, our travel in West Virginia comes to an end on this trip. We have more states to visit. The Appalachian Mountains are not just West Virginia. There's a whole slew of other states to visit. So, hope you all enjoyed the state of West Virginia as we go south into familiar and uncharted lands. So, with that being said, I could just say this. Looking at a stellar glimpse of the new River Gorge Bridge here in the new River Gorge National Park in West Virginia. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.